Hello, my name is Jasmine Lee, and I am not your mama's astrologer. Welcome to the week. I would like to announce this week as the biggest dirtbag week of the season because, well, you'll have to wait for it because I'm going to talk about the beginning of the week first. But just keep dirtbag in mind because I'll be a dirtbag, you'll be a dirtbag, and oh, will we see many a dirtbag this week. But first, we're coming off Sunday having a Mercury cazimi. What I love about that starting a Monday is that we get to start with more freshness than maybe we would have had before. We get to start the week, dare say, a little more optimistically, with a little more of our feet under our legs. You know, we get to step into the week with a little more confidence because our thought processes have been a little bit better. We have all our systems have been running a little bit clearer, and that's nice because it's really been a circus. It's really been a lot of misspoken words and not clarity. And so I've loved this mercurial week in that way. Last week, there was so much going on in how we were thinking. And so coming off of that, Mercury has their exact square to Uranus. That's really interesting to me because also the moon's going to be heading into Leo. Hint about the douchebaggery, dirtbaggery. Here we go. When Mercury is at an exact square to Uranus, that's a hard aspect, but what I like for it, for what we've been through, given the last week of Mercury, giving us all kinds of clarity, giving us all kinds of vibes, is that now Uranus is like, now what are you going to do about it? Okay, you've had these ideas, you've had notions, you've had inspirations maybe, you have a little bit more clarity, but now Uranus is going to put it into action. That's what Monday, I mean, we're going to feel it for a few days afterwards, obviously, but going into Monday, that's going to be a vibe. Like, well, what are you going to do about it? In the world, we can see that in different ways too, that there's so much going on in our world that it's really becoming the task of what are we going to do about it? And I feel like this Uranus energy is going to come in and give us a little push. For better or for worse, you get to decide. With the moon moving into Leo, we are ever approaching a full moon. Hint, hint. But first, Tuesday, the sun is going to do what Mercury did on Monday. It is going to square Uranus. So not only our thoughts, but our very way of being, the sun, how we see ourselves. It's in Aquarius, so it's going to need to innovate. Aquarius wants different. Aquarius wants to be innovative in nature. Aquarius wants something to present itself for the righteous change. And Aquarius and Uranus are best friends. So we've got a lot of juice to continue to change for, hopefully, the better. Maybe what's playing out doesn't feel like it's for the better right now, but change is change is change. And we all get to choose how we're changing, and we all get to choose how we handle that change. So bum-ba-da-ba, here we are, moment we've all been waiting for. It's Wednesday's full moon. Now, all full moons have the opposition that they're working with, that the sun opposes the moon. That's what a full moon's all about. But this one is vibey and extra dirtbaggy because a full moon in Leo, Leo is ruled by the sun. The sun is in its farthest away sign that it's not comfortable in Aquarius. Leo is about standing out, about the spotlight, obviously ruled by the sun. It's about theater and passion projects and first kisses and attention, particularly. It's about how we're getting attention. It's about our ego centers. It's about how we're being seen in the world and if we want to or not. So it is opposing our sun right now, which is in Aquarius, which is also about identity but different. It's more about like the community identity. It's more about solving the whole problem instead of the piece of pie. It's about the one slice. It's about, winning the war, not the battle. But Leo just kind of wants to win the battle, okay? Leo wants to be right. Leo wants to be loud. Leo wants to be seen. And Aquarius is like, I don't really need to be seen, but I do need to be understood. I do need to be heard, and I will be heard. Put those energies together and it is bombastic AF, you guys. It is so fun. It can also be, and my worry on the grand scale is that with such an intense, highly provocative, big time energy, especially with Uranus lingering about, that we will see this play out on the grand scale. I know you know what I'm talking about. We're coming off the Super Bowl. We're coming off all kinds of things that Trump is doing. We're coming off this like big jetsam, floatsome of bull crap, of true douchebaggery. And so here is my most authentic advice and homework for you. We nip this in the butt, okay? We figure out where we truly are dirtbagging right now in our life. Not just coincidentally, not just sometimes when we're tired, not just when we're hangry, because bitch gets hangry a lot, okay? If I had to say what kind of person I am when I'm hangry, that'd be really unfortunate. I don't think I'd have a lot of friends. So we're not talking about situational dirtbaggery. We're talking about the root system of where your inner dirtbag is grown and hauled and kept inside of you. This is never easy. It's not fun to have to understand the parts of ourselves that are really annoying. Here's what I'll say. I've been stuck in a house because of a snowstorm for 7 days straight. 7 days straight of me, myself, and I, of having to contend with the most annoying intrinsic parts of myself that I don't necessarily love. Okay? And we start so lovingly, right? I was cleaning out corners. I was cleaning the house. We were listening to music. We were lighting candles. It was kind of dreamy to just get to be amidst my own home energy. But as the days progressed, let me tell you, my dirtbag started to grow and take root and become the very most obnoxious version of itself. And what I've learned from that is that I'm not super easy to live with sometimes, a lot of times, is that I don't enjoy me sometimes, and that being righteously honest about why is really what's going to come in handy for doing this week's work. And I will tell you, because I wouldn't want you to do it alone, that I can be needy. I can be codependent. I can be mercurial. I have so many thoughts going on all the time that I can say one thing and the very next moment say it's contradiction. I am someone who has high energy and yet low frequency vibes when I'm tired. I'm someone who can be extremely lazy and then hyper productive, and you can never guess what version you're going to get of me at any given hour. I can be incredibly loud. I can be incredibly chatty. I can be incredibly anxiety ridden. I can be incredibly very socially inept when I am left to my own devices often. So these are parts of me, and I don't always love me. And I struggle to maintain deep self-love. It's been a lifelong battle. But then I see that play out ancestrally. I see how magical my mother was, but had a very, very hard time accepting herself, how she looked, how she was. She was always worried about judgment, as am I. And I see it play out in my kids, that they want to do so well and then are so hard on themselves when they don't. We're all microcosms of these deep-seated belief systems that were there before us and are there in current us, and is up to us to dispel for future us. And this Leo full moon is one of those opportunities where you might see the dirtbaggiest versions of the people in your life as well as yourself. And the medicine? Call it out. Find that shadow work. Understand that the best person, that even the highest revered person has that dirtbag inside of them, that anybody times themselves to an extreme level is going to have a shadow side, is going to have a darkness, is going to have things that really are problematic. And so you take those kinds of vibes and you put it into practice. That I want you to think of the person that you admire the most. Who is killing it in your life right now? Who do you look at and you're like, gosh, if I had what they had, I would be really, really happy. And I want you to humanize them. I want you to think of them when their flight gets delayed, or they get stopped by a cop, or they are hangry, or they are just not the highest frequency version of themselves. What do you think that looks like? Do you think that every day they wake up and are the high road version of themselves? How do you think that person feels about themselves? And now I want you to do the opposite. I want you to think of someone that you really don't like, someone that maybe has hurt you, someone that maybe has done you wrong, someone that you think about in a negative way often. And I want you to think about their life. And I want you to think about their high road. And I want you to think about what it is about that person that deserves compassion, that deserves love, that deserves to be held, that deserves to be seen in their high road version. Well, my friends, it's all here. It's here all the time. It's playing out on stage all the time. We are both the dirtbag and the person that someone else looks up to. We're all of that. We're all just human. And what I love about this full moon is that whether it's ego, Leo sun, in its moon phase right now, or Aquarius, the innovator, the rebel, the person who needs to be different, the black sheep. How can we bring those two energies together to create righteous change that Uranus is asking for? How do we understand better, deeper, that knowing our dirtbag selves is the answer? It is the road to operating at our higher level self. That for me to be able to embrace, oh my gosh, these parts of me can be so annoying. And rather than victimize it, feel bad for it, create wounding around it or trauma around it, we try to hold it, have compassion for it, and change the things that truly don't feel good. I do not like being needy. How do I change that? Well, when I start to feel that way, how do I listen deeper and ask myself, if I'm feeling needy, what's the deeper need? Because underneath the core need, the neediness of me, is something that I'm not getting. And the only person that can give that truly to is myself. And so whether or not I'm going to high road this or not, I can't tell you. I don't know. I don't know how the week's going to play out for me. I know that I had a lot of aha moments with all that mercurial energy last week. And I know that there are solutions to live in this in-between realm of being a completely imperfect person. And the secret sauce is to start with others. The secret sauce is to take all of our mentors and all of our teachers and celebrities and the people that we admire the very most off their pedestals and humanize them and understand that they have all kinds of things that I'm sure on some level you wouldn't want any part of in their emotional body. And then I want you to take the people that you hate the most, that have come in and stolen or taken something from you, or has changed our government or our world or any of that. And I want you to rehumanize them and find a way that compassion can leak through in those little crevices that need healing, because when you do that for other people, you're also doing it for yourself. Something unlocks in us when we don't need to hold a grudge anymore. When we don't need to say, it's because of that person that I am, or you made me feel this way or that. That way we take responsibility for both our low road and our high road, and we allow other people to be the expressions of their high roads and low roads sometimes, that there's more juice, there's more to see. And I dare say that being performative in our douchebaggery this week is awesome. is telling, is what is going to provide the necessary change to make us shift and move a little bit. Because I'll tell you, we're on a road. The path's already been started. We're walking down a path that is very different from many of the ones we've seen before. And if we can't at least become our own best companion on this journey, then all of the changes, which there are so many that are on the horizon, will feel totally daunting and insurmountable. It is only unless we are conquering our own internal mountains first that we can understand what it is that is changing and why in the outside versions of us, in the outside versions of the newsstands and the social medias of it all. That for every good thing that's happening, there's a dark underbelly to it. And to every bad thing that's happening, there's a bright side. And if we can integrate those things, because I'm not saying for better or for worse, I'm saying neutrality. I'm saying, how do we feel our emotions all the way through so that we can reach a place of homeostasis? And that's kind of hard to access all the time, but I think we'll see some extremes this week that'll maybe have us longing for that neutrality. So that's Wednesday. And then Friday, Mercury leaves that square from Uranus. We finally had some mental clarity, some mental shifting, and then it moves into something completely different. As it does, as the energy, so as above, so below. It moves into Pisces, and how lovely is that? Mercury in Pisces for Valentine's Day. I love that for us because that's the poet, that's the intuit, that's the arts, that's the softer side of our lives. And if it's in our thoughts, it's a little tricky because clarity can be hard, as well as a firm yes or a firm no. Boundaries can be hard, but our intuitions can really guide us and lead us. It's such good vibes for expression of our true deepest feelings and emotions and needs. And so that's great going into Valentine's Day weekend. That's great going into the celebration of love. I don't necessarily think we should ascribe to the materialism about Valentine's Day, but I will take any excuse to show, express to the people around me how much I love them. And what a great way to end a week where things have been very douchebaggy, where our dirtbag side has been lifted and heave-hoed all around us, where we've seen some very dirtbaggy, douchebaggy things, and it's time to make nice. It's time to rub it out, guys. It's time to go out to dinner. It's time to have a walk. It's time to kiss it away. It's time to lament it away. It's time to lonely it away if you don't have someone that's loving on you this year. It's time to find... Wow, my cat's just got in a cat fight. I don't know if that's like a bad sign for Valentine's Day, to be continued. It is a great time to find your self-love. It's the time to like gut out the things that are more deep-rooted, not just topical, but the things where I am needy because I don't feel like I'm ever enough vibes. Needy is the topical version of feeling lonely deep, deep inside in my inner child self. Needy is that feeling that I was wandering lonely for many, many years, not understanding where my place was in this world or in my friendships or in my relationships or in my family ships. Needy is fill in the blank for you. So find the topical emotion, needy for me, and go deeper, deeper, deeper. I'm needy. When was I the neediest? When did I need? When did a need not get met? When did that start? Go down these neural pathways and find a little light that'll guide you to somewhere deep, deep, deep inside of you. It's where your inner dirtbag lives, and you dig it up by its roots, not just by its blossoms, because, you know, dirtbag blossoms are everywhere. You can see them in road rage. You can see them in no tipping your server, which is horrible. You can see them in snips and snaps. You can see them in hangry. You can see them in needy. You can see them in so many different ways. Those are the blossoms of the dirtbag. We got to dig up the bag itself that's attached to all the roots of all of the very innocent and very abandoned reasons that we had these coping mechanisms that made us the dirtbags we are today. So the card I pulled for this is co-create. That's really lovely and so Aquarian, because Aquarius is about the community. Aquarius is about the whole. Aquarius is about winning the goddamn war, not the battle, because we can't do this all by ourselves. Surely we cannot. We cannot see ourselves so clearly, but for the mirrors of the humans that are interacting with us all the time. If you ever find yourself saying, why does this always happen to me? That's an indication that people are coming into your life to show you the same thing until you learn it. And so we co-create. We co-create this new life that we want, because it is in the breakdown, it is in the digging up, and it is in the letting go that we find our true wholeness. I hope you find yours this week. I certainly hope I find mine. Thank you so much for watching or listening. Please like, subscribe, do all the things to help my dreams come true. Because when you help other people's dreams come true, you're making your dreams come true, because it's all a circle of manifestation. See you next week.